Welcome back, brother. This is Module 11, Tactics to Ensure Your Success. Lifestyle integration is the key here, okay? So what I mean by lifestyle integration, I'm not just talking about the Taoist or Tantric techniques you just learned. They will not substitute an overall fit body, okay? You gotta have a fit body. You need to do some kind of training. You need to go to the gym or do some kind of training at home. Basically, I love both of them. You know, like there are periods in my life where I do a lot of training at home, and then I feel so fit and ready that I can just go to gym and go for a crazy bodybuilding sequence for a couple of months, and then or go to some yoga school and practice some hardcore yoga. Anyway, if you're complaining that you don't have enough time, I suggest you to do a super slow training, okay? Super slow training takes 20 minutes and they encourage you to recover for 1 week. So basically you train 20 minutes per week or maximum half an hour per week, okay? Which is very time and effort effective, and it's a science-based training approach. There's a book called Body by Science. So you can read that book if you want to geek about it. Actually, you can add some kettlebell training. I love kettlebell training. They are my friends for a very long time. And that's also a very strong and short training session, which you work on your flexibility, your mobility, your strength, your balance, all at the same time, and your endurance, your cardio, all of them come together with just a 20-30 minutes of kettlebell training. And you can just do it 2 or 3 times per week, and it will have amazing results. Super slow kettlebells or weightlifting will challenge also your nervous system, especially if you lift heavy weights. And this will improve your focus. You have to focus when you lift those weights. If you're in your mind, you can't do that. You have to come out of your mind and come into your body. And this is very, very important in Tantra, okay? Pilates is one of my favorites, as I told you before. It gives me a strong core, which also empowers the pelvic floor, therefore the sexual functions. You can even have orgasms if you have a strong core. Moreover, you can stop ejaculation only with the power of your inner abdominal muscles. I can't tell you how important it is to have a strong core. Another very interesting point is you can challenge yourself by cold. Challenging yourself usually is a very good masculine trait, and exposing yourself to cold is really a great way to do it. It's also tremendously beneficial for your nervous system. Wim Hof, also known as Iceman, is really one of my heroes since I first watched him on TED in 2010. His personal story is very interesting. I want to tell you about it very shortly. He had 4 children and his wife was depressive and she kills herself. And suddenly Wim Hof is left with 4 children. He doesn't know what to do. Very difficult situation. The children are young, like this is like very 20, 30 years ago. And he starts exposing himself to the cold and improves his breathing technique. And the exposure to cold and breathing together, he comes out of this depression. He becomes very strong with his mind and with his emotions. So cold will also boost your testosterone, improve your mood, strength, your emotional body. And all of these are actually essential for dealing with women, not just dealing with life. So you will become more mature and more stabilized because you challenge yourself as fuck with the cold, and whatever other things can come in life, you can tolerate them more easily. Also, it's excellent for anti-aging, muscle recovery, and fat burning. How to expose yourself to cold? Well, one of the key things you can do is take an ice cube and massage your testicles with that ice cube. Like take one ice cube for one testicle and take another one for the other testicle and massage until that ice melts completely. Spend 5 minutes for each testicle, or if you don't have so much time, spend 5 minutes in total and massage your testicles. It will have amazing benefits. It will boost your testosterone, your sperm cells will be more vital, and sperm count will increase and all that. Okay? So, and especially if you're living in a hot climate, this kind of cold exposure to your testicles is very, very important. Not wondering why the Scottish men, who are very masculine men, they wear skirts. Because these skirts, these skirts don't make them more feminine, they make them more masculine. Because the cold breeze is teasing the testicles all the time, and it's increasing their testosterone production. Well, I want to share with you how I massage my testicles. Like, these little ice cubes don't suffice me anymore. Like, I can't get enough cold from them. So what I do, if I go to a new place, like if I'm traveling or something, it's also very helpful. I take a water bottle, a big water bottle, 1.5 liters. I cut it into 2, and I fill them with water and put them in the freezer. And then I take them out like this, and I, of course, take it out in the shower, and I massage myself with such big pieces of ice. It makes me super horny, man. It's really useful. Just try that. Another way to work is hot-cold contrast showers, which will give you an easy, relaxed beginning. So first, you warm your body with the hot shower, and then you stop the water running. You just take 1 minute, because after hot, you will relax a little bit, and you can even focus your mind. You can meditate a little bit. Enjoy that warmth in your body. And after that, you can switch the water to cold running water and start from your feet, your arms, your belly, your testicles, your genitals, your chest and shoulders, and in the end you can shower your head. Okay, take it slowly, don't make it too cold, like take your time. Your body needs to adapt it. Don't make it a full torture for yourself. You need to challenge yourself just a little bit so you enjoy it. Okay, and immediately after cold you can switch back to hot, which is very pleasurable, by the way, because your veins are changing their volumes very quickly. Like hot and cold contrast showers. It's a very good training for your cardiovascular system. So you can do hot, cold, and hot and cold 3 times minimum. Will be very, very beneficial. If you want to take it one step further, you can do ice baths, as Wim Hof is doing. There are certain technologies. You can set up these things in your house if you are serious about it, or if you don't have the funds or the means to do it. Somehow these things are not easy to find depending on where you are in the world. So you can just fill if you have like a bath tube, just fill it with cold water. And if it's not cold enough, you can put some ice inside. And what I do is, usually if I'm in the winter, I take a bucket and a plastic bag. I put some snow inside this bag and put this snow into the ice bath to make it even colder. Right? But if you do an ice bath, you have to really be careful. You need to warm your body a little bit before. And this is a great, what Wim Hof is doing with the breathing. You do like 3-4 rounds of Wim Hof breathing if you know how to do it. Or if you know some Bhastrika Pranayama, Nauli Kriya or Agnisara Kriya, this kind of Kundalini yoga techniques that really warm your body up. Or just a simple hack I want to share with you is massaging your ears. Okay, so you take your earlobes and you massage them quite hard. Okay, just all around, massage all around, especially the lobes on the bottom part. Okay, just make it a little bit painful, not too painful. Also, you can squeeze them like this. You can pull them out in all directions. Like this kind of ear massage is coming from Chinese Qigong tradition, and it will make your body warmer, much warmer very quickly. You can also hack this like you're in the winter somewhere, it's very cold. You need to gain some warmth very quickly. Just massage your ears, okay? So you can do it just before ice bath. You can do it during the ice bath, after the ice bath. And also, you need to take care of yourself after the ice bath, okay? It's a serious practice. And Wim Hof is mentioning to do some horse stance, some power stance, and move around, jump. And do the ear massage maybe again, or do some fiery breathing. And also you can tap your kidneys. You can take your palms, and I'm just going to show you right now. So it's better on the naked skin. So you just take off your clothes and lean forward a little bit, and your kidneys find these rib cage bones, and wherever these bones finish, where there's no bone anymore, you feel it's soft tissue muscles. That's where the kidneys are. So when you start tapping them with your palm like this, both palms and to both kidneys, do it like about a minute, and that's going to help you tremendously. So after ice bath, you take care of yourself, you take care of your kidneys, and also generally heat is a very good strategy. Okay, not just the colds, also healing with heat is well known in the Russian and Finnish traditions. Their sauna styles are amazing. So if you can go to such a sauna 3 times per week, it's super beneficial. It will increase your overall health and boost your brain as well with brain-derived neurotrophic factors, BDNF, which also help you recover from stress. All right. You can combine, of course, you can go to sauna and then jump into cold water, or take a cold shower and then go back to the sauna again and then come back. Like this is a perfect, excellent practice. There are even now technologies that you can buy some certain panels with electronic saunas or red light therapy. Like there are many different ways now that work with the heat, healing with the heat. Eat a healthy diet. It's a no-brainer, right? But how to do it? Well, personally, I believe there's no one diet that fits for all. Like, I don't really listen to any more people who says, oh, vegan diet is the best. Everybody has to be vegan. Or other people who say on the opposite, no, vegan diet is horrible. Everybody has to be eating meat. I think that's a bunch of bullshit ideas, because every person is unique, right? You need to find what exactly works for you. And I believe there are 2 ways to figure that out. One of them is intuitive eating. What do I mean by that? You become very, very, very aware and sensitive. My ice is melting here. Very sensitive to what's happening in your body when you eat certain food or when you stop eating certain food. Okay? Observe your emotions, observe your mind, your energy levels. Try with different diets and see. Of course, this is more intuitive part of things. You just experiment with your own body. If you want to go to scientific way, you can have a genetic test, but don't test your body. There is now a company called Wyoming, and they are doing something really clever. They are testing the DNA of your gut microbiome, your bacteria in your gut, and understanding what kind of flora you have down there, and advising you to eat certain food and diet in this direction. I think that's an excellent idea. So you can use this code FATIH, F-A-T-I-H, and get a $10 discount from their orders. So when we look at the tradition, I have to tell you that the Tantric yogis, they are vegetarian, all right? Because it's kind of tradition. But it also has a point. I tried this kind of, not just tried, I was a vegetarian for 12 years, okay? Lacto-ovo-vegetarian, not excluding eggs and dairy products, okay? In my experience, such a diet gives purity and makes it easier to sublimate the energy and have spiritual experiences, okay? It's kind of easy on the body, and your energy channels are more clean, so you can move the energy easier. If you're eating meat, you have to take some extra measures, I think, to purify your body. Like you can do intermittent fasting, you can be very careful if the meat is pure, you can do some going to vegan for 40 days like the Orthodox Christians are doing basically. That's a very good idea. You can do this kind of experiments and look if your Uddiyana Bandha is easier, if you can sublimate the energy even more efficiently or not. You know, like everybody is unique and you need to find exactly what works for you and what doesn't. And that takes a lot of experimentation. So I just want to add that regardless of the different views about the diet, I think they all converge at one point. Eat pure. Paleo enthusiasts, they will say focus on grass-fed instead of industrial meat, right? Don't eat industrial meat, eat grass-fed. Or the vegans will tell you don't eat genetically modified vegetables, eat organic vegetables. So this can be one, if you want to take only one advice from this module, take this. Whatever you're eating, eat as pure as you can. And also detoxing is very important, as I just mentioned. If you want to succeed in your sexual evolution, detox is gold. Because the more pure your body is, the easier it gets to circulate the energy and therefore the pleasure in your body. So you can have multiple orgasms in an easier way. I'm not going to go and suggest you to do fruit juices all day long. No, this is not my type of detox, really. But I take detox very seriously. The detox methods that I'm applying for many, many years and teaching require a lot of caution and one-on-one instruction. So I'm not going to teach them here, okay? If you want to learn about them, you can contact me directly or jump on board with my coaching program. Let's talk about the famous aphrodisiacs, okay? It's really important and I love aphrodisiacs. But when you're tantric, when you're trying to control your ejaculation frequency, you need to be careful with aphrodisiacs. Why? Because if you're not already ejaculating for, let's say, 20 days or 30 days, and if you're consuming tons of aphrodisiacs, it will be very difficult to control your ejaculation. I remember one anecdote. One of my friends, who was also my student, I told him that you can experiment with aphrodisiacs. I gave him like a kind of a lecture, what type of aphrodisiacs are good. And what he did was he went to the pharmacy and bought all of these aphrodisiacs, like 6-7 different types, and take one dose from all of them. He misunderstood me. I told in the lecture that you can just take one, experiment with it for a while, all right, and see if it works for you. Because, by the way, not all aphrodisiacs work for everybody. For example, maca. Everybody talk about maca. I tried different types of maca. They don't work for me. I don't get almost any benefits. Ginseng works for me tremendously. I love ginseng, especially if it's a 6 years old Korean ginseng approved by Korean government. Like, I really love this kind of stuff. Anyway, so he took all of them and he misunderstood me. He tried all of them and he said, oh, I took all of them, like one dose from all of these aphrodisiacs, and it was like an early evening. I took a nap and then what? I ejaculated in that little nap. And I'm like, of course, dude, of course you did. Because this was too much. And he was, by the way, on his 40th or 50th day of non-ejaculation and he just lost it. So this tells that you have to be careful consuming aphrodisiacs if you are counting on high days with your 49 days challenge, all right? If you just ejaculated last night, today you can consume as much as you want. For the minimum 3 to 5 days or 7 days, don't worry. You can consume as much aphrodisiacs as you want. And over the term of a couple of weeks, you need to manage your aphrodisiacs. And if you're like in your 20s, 30s, maybe you need to cut them completely. Stop consuming aphrodisiacs. Why? Because they will trigger your ejaculation. You'll be so much full with libido and testosterone, you can't hold it anymore. It's like the energy in our sexual energy center is like a balloon. And the longer we don't ejaculate, the bigger this balloon gets, okay? So it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And after some point, it's very difficult to hold this energy. And just one little tiny needle and poof, it just explodes, right? So sublimation, by the way, helps you to move this energy upwards all the time. So this balloon is not getting so big. You can hold it in a certain size and you keep sending energy upwards and your other centers are nurtured by the sexual energy. You transform the sexual energy. Remember alchemy. We're talking about tantric alchemy here. So again, if you need to be aware of how big your balloon is. If it's like you feel so horny, maybe it's time to stop the aphrodisiacs, okay? So you need to find your perfect level. You will fail. You will fail and find the ways that work for you. And also, we don't want you to have like low libido. So if you're having low libido, yes, I really encourage you to consume aphrodisiacs. Fenugreek is a good one. Ginseng is a great one. Maca, you can try, you can experiment. Tonkat Ali, you can experiment with that. And there are others. I don't want to go into too much details here. Also, non-ejaculation is an aphrodisiac in itself. Like there's this famous Chinese study, NoFap guys were inspired by this study. It kind of shows that if these guys who didn't ejaculate for 7 days, they have higher testosterone levels. And they didn't have anybody who would experiment with longer periods probably. But the longer you don't ejaculate, the higher your testosterone gets based on my experience. So basically, if you feel that your erections are not as hard as stone, you can consume some aphrodisiacs to make it harder. But if they're already rock hard, maybe you don't need aphrodisiacs, all right? Any food that keeps the blood flowing in your body is also very good, like watermelon, pomegranate, or schisandra berry. They are very good to consume, especially before sex, okay? And basically, one of the best aphrodisiac combinations you can find is the genius product of my friend Doc Farhan, Aphrodite, right? This is an amazing aphrodisiac. It's a very beautiful combination of 4 different herbs that work excellently. And you can use this link and get 10% off of your Aphrodite purchase. So bottom line is, if you ejaculated, you can consume more aphrodisiacs than normal. Once you know your build-up levels, it will be easier to engineer your level of horniness. What do I mean by that? Again, if you know that, 15 days is difficult. Like you have a journal, you're counting the days. You can't hit 17 days or 19 days. Around this range is challenging for you, 15 days, 19 days. So you gotta stop the aphrodisiacs maybe around 12 or 13 so you can increase even more your period of non-ejaculation. If you can hit 40 days easily, then you can perhaps consume aphrodisiacs until 30, 35 days. But when you're around 40, you know that it's going to be difficult for you. And probably if you can hold it up to 40, 50, 60 days easily, it means on the first days after ejaculation, like the first week, first 2 weeks, your libido levels are quite low. Probably, I'm just guessing. But if that's true for you, if you feel less horny in the first days after ejaculation, you can consume tons of aphrodisiacs. And another important category of herbs you can consume is adaptogens. Well, many folks into sexual performance and virility are focusing too much on the herbs that stimulate them. This might cause overstimulation of the sympathetic autonomic nervous system, right? Which creates this fight or flight state. But remember, relaxation is very, very important, which comes from the parasympathetic nervous system, the soothing effect from this parasympathetic nervous system. And adaptogens do exactly this. They kind of balance your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. They bring homeostasis. They stabilize your physiological processes. So they're basically helping you a lot with coping stress and enjoying sex. So what are the basic adaptogens? Turmeric, rhodiola rosea, ginseng, ashwagandha, schisandra berry, goji berries, and many mushrooms like lion's mane mushroom or chaga. So finally, I want to talk about sleep. It's very, very important how you sleep and how much you sleep and what times you sleep. All right? Because most of our testosterone production happens during sleep. Also, if your sleep is not sound, your muscles will perform poorly on the next day and your brain might be foggy. Our nervous system rests, recovers, and cleans itself during sleep. So, in the world today, there seems to be 2 different approaches to sleep. One approach says, don't sleep a lot. Like just wake up very early, don't sleep so much, sleep is a waste of time. So be productive, don't sleep. 5 to 6 hours per day is enough. On the other hand, many sleep experts, actually even medical doctors, are coming and talking about how important it is to have enough sleep. Deprivation of sleep can cause accidents, low quality work, and even health issues. Basically, I'm in the second camp. I feel that if you need to sleep 7 or 8 hours, then go ahead. But there are also a lot of factors that contribute to the quality of the sleep, and probably this is even more important than the quantity of it. And for that, we need to understand the sleep cycles. We have 1.5 to 2 hours long sleep cycles, and we have 4 of them on average every night. Okay? And the first sleep cycle is the most important one because this is where the deep sleep happens mostly. Deep sleep stage. At this stage, our brain waves go down to delta waves, which is the slowest, between 0.5 to 4 hertz. And as we move into the morning, the following sleep cycles are including more and more of the REM sleep, where our brain waves are in the theta category, 4 to 8 hertz. The last sleep cycle near the morning is mostly full of dreams, and it's a little bit tiring. Basically, sometimes if you wake up like, I don't know, 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and you say, oh, I slept only 6 hours, I want to sleep another 2 hours, but you feel so fresh and strong, and you sleep another 2 hours, you're supposed to wake up even more rested, right? But you wake up a little bit groggy and maybe even tired. So that's because resting and recovery happen more on the dreamless deep sleep rather than the REM sleep, rapid eye movements sleep. If you want to cut 2 hours of your sleep from your 8 hours of sleep, cut the last 2 hours, but not the first sleep cycle at the beginning of the night. That's very, very important. As a general rule, make sure you are asleep around midnight. Between 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the most precious time for deep resting sleep. Better make it until 3 a.m. Okay, 4 hours. Make sure that you take these 2 cycles of sleep in this time frame. I mean, our biological clock is designed in a way that we should be sleeping around midnight. That's why if you don't sleep all night and go to bed at 8 a.m. for example, and sleep for 8 hours, you wake up 4 p.m., you will not have the same amount of recovery for sure. Unfortunately, people working at night shifts for many years will start having health problems. If you have a job or lifestyle that requires you to be awake between 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., think twice. Either change your job or lifestyle, brother. This is really, really important. Or maybe you can apply a kind of sleep hack and sleep between 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Make sure you're taking this precious sleep, and then wake up and go to your party, or if you can, adjust your night routine, night shift, and just go to work after that. Of course, a very important key aspect here is the sleep hygiene, which involves a dark environment. Make sure you have really good curtains that can block the light coming from outside. There are even special curtains for that. And on top of that, wear blindfolds. Why? Because our eyes have receptors of light, but our eyelids also have them. So even if your eyes are closed, there are photoreceptors on them and you still perceive light. And complete darkness is good for your melatonin production. Because melatonin is the sleep hormone. The more melatonin you have, the better and deeper sleep you will have. On a similar tone, the blue light exposure after sunset will diminish your melatonin production. What I'm talking about here is the blue light coming from our cell phones, our laptops, or TV. So it's a great idea to use blue light filtering apps on your laptop and on your mobile phone. So also, one of the great things you can do in this regard is sun gazing around sunset time. If you can watch the sun set, these colors, like reddish, yellowish, orangish colors, if you expose your eyes to these colors, your brain will start producing a lot of melatonin and you will have an amazing sleep that night. Also, your stomach needs to be empty when you sleep. And active digestion system will give your brain that it's not the time to sleep yet. So if you want to be in tune with your circadian rhythms, do not eat anything 3 hours prior to sleeping. If all of this is too complicated, I have a simple formula for you, which is 10, 3, 2, 1. It's easy to remember, right? 10, 3, 2, 1. What is 10 about? It's about your coffee consumption, okay? This rule suggests that don't drink coffee in the last 10 hours before sleeping. So let's say you will sleep at 11 p.m. Your last coffee should be drunk at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I mean, some people can drink coffee and then go to bed right after that. I am not one of them. And this rule is really super important for me. So I drink coffee only in the morning. The latest I drink is 12. Maybe in rare situations I will drink at around 1 p.m. So pay attention to that. 3 is for eating. So your last meal should be around 8 p.m. if you are going to 11 p.m. 2 is for working. You gotta stop working 2 hours prior to sleep. And 1 is for technology. Stop using all technology, TV, laptop, mobile, etc. 1 hour prior to sleep. And I personally add 6 to this rule, especially when I'm consuming some kind of stimulants other than coffee. Could be alcohol, weed. So make sure you consume them 6 hours prior to sleep. So to wrap all of this up, make sure you sleep at 11 p.m. and do not wake up before 3 a.m. Ideally sleep 8 hours per day. Sleep in complete darkness. Use blue light filters and watch the sunset if you can. No coffee in the last 10 wake hours. No food in the last 3 hours. No work in the last 2 hours. No screen in the last 1 hour. And no stimulants in the last 6 hours if you want to add this rule as well. And also have a good pre-sleep routine. It's also very important. What's a simple pre-sleep routine? Relax your mind and body as much as possible. A very nice thing you can do is take a hot shower. It will help you circulate your blood, but don't go into the cold. Just take a purely hot shower, okay? Because the cold will stimulate you and you can't even sleep perhaps. So if you can get an Epsom salt bath, that's even better. Get a magnesium taurate supplement. There are different types of magnesium, and I find magnesium taurate works for me the best. It's really, taurate is like really, it helps with GABA production, this neurotransmitter. So you will have a better sleep after this supplement. Read a book, meditate, or write a journal. So get things out of your mind. You know, like we think a lot of thoughts during the day. We encounter a lot of experiences. Some of them are emotionally challenging. So if you just take 10, 20, 30 minutes before sleep and write them down, you take them from your brain and put it on the paper. So your brain is more relaxed. You can have a better sleep. All right. I hope this has been useful for you. This is the end of module 11. There are a lot of things you can take from this module, right? You can apply a lot of strategies and tactiques, but at least do these 2 of them that I'm giving you as homework. Number 1, spend 5 minutes daily massaging your testicles with ice or ice cold water. If you can, take a big chunk of ice like this. Number 2, start applying the 10, 3, 2, 1 formula for better sleep. All right, brother, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next module.